Nia Jax. Are you fucking kidding me? Nia Jax? Oh, I'm gonna get to that whole match in about a minute. But let me just take a moment to give you the old I told you so. When I made that video a couple of days ago, saying stop the stupidity, that was the thumbnail, and I made a 20-something minute video about all of these fans clamoring at Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania, and telling people like me, the Amplified Man, who knows how WWE operates, they're trying to tell me that this was a blessing in disguise, this injury, and that this is going to be now the main event at WrestleMania. And I said, not so fast. You don't know this business. You don't know WWE, and you don't know Vince. Well, guess who was right? Because clearly, after last night went off the air, Survivor Series, WrestleMania looks a lot clearer, doesn't it? Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. It's Vince McMahon's rematch. And it is clear that somehow Vince will use this new nuclear heat that Nia Jax has, and it is going to be Nia Jax versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. You don't gotta like it, I know. Wait, BC, I don't want to... No, BC, hold on. It's supposed to be Becky Ronda WrestleMania. That's what I was hoping for. I told you not to hope for that. Because Vince will not give you what you want. He is now going to use the heat that you're now going to give Nia. And that's going to be Becky Lynch's revenge for taking her out of this past main event for Survivor Series. Trust me, that's how Vince works. Anything to make Nia look better. So he's going to use all of this attention that Becky's getting. All of this fan adulation. And he's going to feed her to Nia on the grandest stage of them all. And it'll be Charlotte and Ronda, which was Vince McMahon's original plan for WrestleMania, that we all thought he was just fast-tracking in a one-off. But no, he did it to where there's going to be a rematch, and you're not going to do it at TLC. I told you, not so fast. You don't know how Vince works. If he wants to give you Charlotte and Ronda at Mania, he's giving you Charlotte and Ronda at Mania. Just because Becky got hurt doesn't mean all of a sudden Becky's going to be in the main event at WrestleMania. It ain't going to happen. Once again, the Amplified Man dishes the truth, and once again, I'm the only one in this fucking community that knows what the fuck they're talking about. You're welcome. I took a lot of heat in that video, but I ended up being the one standing tall, the right one. As always. Now let's talk some fucking Nia Jax. Unfortunately, we're about to get fucking amplified on an event that otherwise I feel like I was entertained. We'll find out if I was or not. And what do I mean by that? This is the good, the bad, and the fucking ugly. For you new subscribers, this is how we do review shows for pay-per-views. We go match by match, and we put a tally in the column where it belongs. So if it was good, it goes in the good. If it's bad, we're going to put a tally in the bad. And if there was something fucking ugly, we're putting it right in the ugly. And at the end of this show, we're going to tally it all up and find out if this pay-per-view was actually good, bad, or maybe it was fucking ugly. So I want to get right into the first match. And we don't do preview show here, guys, unless it comes into a fucking tiebreaker. But we're going to hope that it's fucking definitive. So we don't go over the pre-show. We're going right to the main show, and this is going to kick off with the women's elimination match. This is going to be Team Raw versus Team Smackdown. On Team Raw, earlier in the pre-show, team captain, which I have no fucking idea why she's the team captain other than Vince wants to have his pride and joy, his piece of candy, on television. So Alexa Bliss is your captain, and she doesn't like that Natty and Ruby Riott aren't getting along, so she kicks both off her team. And at the last second, Sasha Banks and Bayley are replacements. So that's how you utilize somebody like Sasha Banks. You don't even fucking announce her leading into Survivor Series, and at the last second go, oh, she's a surprise in this match. Like, okay, if Natty and Ruby Riott weren't getting kicked off the team, Sasha Banks is just sitting on the sidelines eating popcorn watching this thing. Okay, so obviously that's a fucking upgrade when you get Sasha Banks onto your team. So you would think that alone would put it in the good. No, no, no. We got to watch how this match unfolds. And during this match, right off the gate, Naomi's getting eliminated. Samoa Joe fashion, which we'll get to that in a minute. What the fuck are you doing with Naomi that she's the first one eliminated in like a fucking minute? That right there should go in the ugly, but I'm going to be generous right here and keep moving along in this match. We get to the point where Tamina gets eliminated, and at this point, I'm ecstatic. It almost makes up for you eliminating Naomi in 1 minute. Not seeing Tamina at the end of this thing, because at the end, I truly felt Nia and Tamina were going to have their hands held high, which was going to make me put my head through a cement fucking wall. But Tamina gets eliminated during this match. Somehow Tamina Snuka lasted 10-15 minutes more than fucking Naomi. That's fucking brilliant fucking asinine booking. And then you go to the end of this match. And this is where Sasha Banks is actually lasting. She's kicking ass. By the way, Bayley continues to show this mean streak. There's this new Bayley that I'm viewing. It's not all just smiles and giggles like a Finn Balor or like what Bayley used to be. It's a new mean streak. I hope she keeps this up. I really do. I hope she just doesn't keep going back and forth, man. I like this new Bayley. But Sasha Banks makes it to the end with Nia on her team, and Asuka for SmackDown is the last remaining participant. And we get Sasha versus fucking Asuka. And the crowd is on their feet, and I know we're all fucking intrigued at home because it's Sasha and Asuka. Get Nia off the apron, get her off the fucking camera view, and just give us Sasha and Asuka. It's two actual wrestlers having a wrestling match. It was kick-ass. I wanted more of that. But instead, Nia Jax pushes Sasha Banks, yes, her own teammate, off the top rope. This leads into an Asuka choke, and Sasha Banks has to tap the fuck out. This puts Nia into the match, drops all fucking whatever she is, 300, 400, 500 fucking pounds, drops her leg a couple of times on Asuka, then gets her into a Samoa drop, and Asuka is defeated. Nia Jax is the sole survivor in that match. Team Raw picks up the victory. So how do you reward or punish somebody who just broke the fucking nose, concussed, whatever the fuck kind of break Becky has? But how do you reward bad behavior? How do you reward somebody in professional wrestling that keeps on injuring superstars? You make them the sole survivor, you make them even more dominant, and you capitalize on nuclear heat. Bullshit! Nia Jax should be on the sidelines. I don't even think she should be in developmental. I don't even think NXT should have her because then she'll just injure them. She should go away and learn the craft, then come back to the Performance Center, spend another year or two down there, and then if Vince really wants her back and thinks that she can actually do some wrestling now, then you bring her back. Instead, you just go on as business as usual. His original plan, let Nia win this fucking match. And any motherfucking schmuck that honestly this morning is going, BC, it's nuclear heat, man. What do you think they're gonna do? This is great. Nia's relevant now. Are you how many times did you get dropped on your dome piece when you were a child? This isn't about nuclear heat. This isn't about a storyline. This isn't about a superstar actually gaining some of our interest. This is about somebody who eventually is going to hurt somebody that they might not get up. Take your fucking head out of professional wrestling storyline world and think about the lives of the people she is in there with. Charlotte Flair getting dropped on her head. Remember that match? Maybe you don't. Because maybe like Vince wants you to think, you just fucking forget everything every 24 hours. But Charlotte got dropped on her head from this careless motherfucker. What about Asuka, who was expecting a backdrop? Nia Jax forgot what knee to put up, so she puts up none. She just flatlines Asuka. You remember that shit? How about going to do an elbow drop to Bayley when Bayley is going to sit up? Could have broken people's necks numerous fucking times. Bayley's torn fucking shoulder from a match with fucking Nia Jax. I can go on and on. Concussion to Zelina Vega, chucking her into Tamina Snuka's nose, by the way. Busting up Tamina Snuka's nose. I can go on with a fucking list. And then the latest one is just throwing a fucking straight shot into Becky Lynch's face. Way to pull your fucking punch. But how do we reward this? We just have her go out there, win, and capitalize on nuclear heat. And her fucking fan base is like, yeah, this is great. She's getting the boos. Now people are looking stupid, aren't they? See? Now she's getting real heat. That's not fucking boo. We fucking, you're the bad guy heat. I hope you guys understand the difference. There's heel heat and there's go away heat. There's fuck you heat. There's a difference. Take yourself out of the storyline world. This isn't about nuclear bad guy heel heat. This is about somebody who is injuring people to the point that one day they might not get up. And if you're too worried about getting nuclear heat, then the blood is on your fucking hands when something severely, drastically, tragically wrong happens in that ring. Am I understood? Because there are honestly fucking idiots and schmucks in this community today that are going, see, this is heel heat. This is the best thing that could have happened for fucking Nia. And you are living in a fucking fantasy world if you think that one day somebody isn't going to get tragically fucking hurt by this careless freak. That is a fucking ugly. Right there. Fucking ugly. There is no other fucking avenue to go in this match. I love Sasha in there. I love Sasha and Asuka. But how the fuck are you gonna reward somebody that just goes out there and fucking tries to bully people? That's all she's fucking doing. Bullying motherfuckers. Using her fucking size. Her freak nature. Her freak size. The big show of the fucking women's division and manhandling other women. And you're gonna fucking reward that? Bullshit. So for Nia fans, understand the difference between heel heat and go away, get the fuck out of here, go learn how to wrestle heat. Because there is a fucking difference. I should give this thing 10 fucking uglies. Nia Jax is the sole fucking survivor. BC, what do you expect Vince to do, man? You gotta capitalize on the heat. I expect him to take her off the road and learn the craft. There's a fucking wild idea. You can take her off the road. Nia Jax deserves nothing in this business because she sucks. She is one of the worst, if not the worst, professional wrestler I have ever fucking seen. And I use that term loosely with her. You lose nothing. BC, what about her future title shot? Vince McMahon changes plans like that. And do you think people honestly fucking think about or are gonna remember Nia Jax has a championship shot? Nobody gives a fuck about her. I don't care about these championship shots and storylines. I care about people's fucking lives in that ring that are trying to actually entertain us. And not just there because I'm The Rock's cousin. I'm not just there because I weigh 400 pounds. No. People should be there because they can, here's a concept, wrestle. Nia Jax. That is a fucking sham. It's a joke. She's a fucking clown when it comes to wrestling. That's laughable. Nia Jax winning that match is laughable. Almost as laughable as Nia Jax considering she's a pro wrestler. Considering herself as a pro wrestler. That's fucking laughable. Right up there with her win last night. How the fuck are you not gonna let Asuka fucking shine? Did you hear that reception for Asuka? That could have been a huge fucking moment for Asuka. Sasha Banks, you put her through a tumultuous fucking year. You can't fucking throw her that victory? No. Nia Jax can do no wrong in Vince McMahon's eyes. Because she's the Samoan. She's Rock's cousin. So Nia Jax could literally paralyze somebody and she'll be in your main event the next fucking week. Let's move on, because I literally, people not being able to tell the difference between heat and get the fuck out of here and go train because you seriously suck to the point where you're injuring people and it might turn tragic one day. Learn the fucking difference. We're actually out of the storyline world and concerned with human lives. I'm glad that you fucking idiot schmucks in this community are getting your nuclear heat. She's really a heel now. They're booing her big time. This is huge. Great. Is that going to improve her fucking wrestling? Is that going to stop her from fucking injuring people? No. Nuclear heat, Beasley. That's right. Thanks for telling me. I'm gonna take your word over mine. I tell you. Brilliant. Teach BC how this business is done, please. Morons. Let's move on. That's already in the ugly. That's not the way you want to kick off your pay-per-view. In the fucking ugly already. And for those of you new subscribers, when we finish tallying, an ugly counts for 2 bads. So that's really a double bad. Boom. Can the next match save us? We're hoping so. This is Shinsuke Nakamura, United States Champion, taking on Seth Rollins, Intercontinental Champion. So Rollins and Nakamura have a fucking match that is obviously... I mean, this is going to piss off Vince McMahon. I'm not going to waste any fucking time. But this is obviously going into the good column. So right off the bat, first 2 matches, we got 1 in the ugly, 1 in the good, guys. Seth Rollins and Nakamura pull through for this pay-per-view, and they put 1 in the good column. Again, uglies count for 2 bads when this is finally tallied, though. So we need more in the good column. We can't stop there. But Nakamura and Rollins obviously delivered. I'm not going to lie. This match started off kind of slow, and it started reminding me of the WrestleMania match between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. Yes, it was a dream match. We were all looking forward to it. We knew what both superstars were capable of, but it just didn't come to fruition at WrestleMania. And Rollins and Nakamura started off like that, really slow. I didn't see the chemistry that I thought would be there, and then all of a sudden, wham, they turned on the light switch the final 10 fucking minutes, and that match became what we thought it could be and should be. And when it was all said and done, again, that goes into the good column because that was a good match. Again, I said Vince McMahon would be pissed off. That's because 2 great wrestlers put on a great wrestling match. There's a fucking concept that pisses Vince McMahon off. He needs people in there that can't wrestle, or people in there that people don't want to see in there. So he always hates, I can tell, when 2 great superstars get in there and actually put on a performance. How dare you overshadow my Nia? How dare you overshadow my fucking Roman? I apologize for any background noise you hear. There's a dumb schmuck that thinks it's a great idea at 7 a.m. in the fucking morning here to... Do I need to say a.m. in the morning? Well, 7 a.m., you got a dumb schmuck out there pushing around his little leaf blower while the Amplified Man is trying to do his good, the bad, and the ugly video. That should be Nia Jax blowing those fucking leaves out there. There's a job for you. Oh, wait, that takes some fucking cardio. So anyway, I apologize for any background fucking noise. We got 1 in the ugly, 1 in the good. Thank you, Shinsuke and Seth Rollins, for your performance last night. That would have been a beautiful time for Dean Ambrose to slip in and cost Rollins the match. But WWE was clearly, at this point, going for a sweep for the Raw brand, which is befuddling to me because SmackDown won the very first match. Yes, we don't really count the pre-show, but how can you just not count at all that 20-person tag match in the pre-show? They didn't even count that last night. They just literally called this a sweep on fucking Raw. But either way, Rollins gets the stomp on Nakamura, and he kind of just falls on Nakamura. So Nakamura saves face a little bit. It was almost like Rollins didn't even know he was pinning him. So I kind of like that. Still would have been cool for Ambrose to interfere at some point. So we got 1 in the good, 1 in the ugly. Let's move on, guys. Let's go to, what the fuck was match number 3, dude? I want to say it was the Tag Team Championship for the SmackDown brand versus the Tag Team Championship for the Raw brand. The Bar versus AOP. This match, what the fuck you want me to say to this match, man? I said in order for this to go into the good, it has to be smash mouth. There was a lot of that, but not enough. And too much was taking away from the match. First of all, nothing of WWE's even fault. Enzo Amore shows up in like the 2nd or 3rd row, and he starts fucking doing some... He's on some fucking drugs, he's drunk, he's fucking... I don't know if he's doing the you can't teach that, or he's fucking like, where the fuck am I? Is this Vince's place? And he's doing some shit. You see a security guard just rip the motherfucker down. He almost lands on his fucking head. Security guard went into business for himself trying to capitalize on some fucking heat. And Enzo fucking escapes security. He's like, I'm going. And he's getting kicked out of LA the same way he got kicked out of a fucking airport recently. Enzo is making headlines everywhere. It seems like nobody wants Enzo around. He's getting kicked out of every place you could think of. Last I heard, 20 minutes ago, he was kicked out of IHOP for walking through the door. So anyway, Enzo fucking shows up and he causes a distraction. Again, I can't blame WWE for that, but what I can blame WWE for is making Drake Maverick piss his pants when the Big Show picked him up by his neck. How the fuck do 10 suits and ties sit around a board meeting and go, how should we have the finish for AOP and the Bar? Well, how about Big Show picks up Drake and Drake pees himself? I love that idea for Survivor Series. Let's end it that way. Distraction. Bar gets fucking, I don't know, AOP gets the advantage, defeats the Bar, so AOP picks up the victory. I think that's the right way to go. But I forgot about the fucking ending of that match because I was too busy as the camera was focused in on Drake Maverick's private parts because he was peeing himself. And it was clear for a whole minute before that actually happened, he was doing something with his fucking crotch area. And I'm like, is he playing with himself while Big Show has him by the throat? This is some kinky weird shit. But no, it ends up being some device that leaks down some fucking water. Or who knows, maybe Gatorade, so later when he gets in the back, he can hydrate off his pants. I don't know. The whole thing was fucking ugly to me, so it should go there. But I'm gonna be generous, man. I'm being so generous, because we're still on the first half of the card. So I'm gonna put this in just the bad. Drake Maverick peeing his pants should not be the defining moment of an AOP Bar match. One good, one bad, one ugly, 3 matches in. We go to the 4th match, and this is gonna be the Cruiserweights. Oh, I swear, guys, this motherfucking schmuck is gonna be blowing leaves the whole fucking morning. Or at least, I'd rather it all morning than the second I stop filming this video and all of a sudden he stops. Because if that happens, I'm going out there and I'm snapping that motherfucker's neck. Boom! One fucking motion! You dumb fuck! They're leaves! How long does it take? You blow them and you get the fuck out! Oh, fucking A. Anyway, so the Cruiserweights now. We have Buddy Murphy and Mustafa Ali. I always used to have fun with this Cruiserweight division, man, because it was just all over the place. And I always used to say, Mufasa. I was always thinking the Lion King. Mufasa. So every time I saw Mustafa, I'm thinking Mufasa, so I couldn't take the guy seriously. So then I would add on top of that, once I learned his name, I said, what the fuck is a Mustafa Ali? But last night, this motherfucker has gained my respect. Buddy Murphy and Mustafa Ali went out there and they killed it last night. Awesome fucking match between these two. I'm not a big fan of flips and dives only type of guys. It's glorified gymnastics. I'm not a big fan of 205 Live. I'm gonna be honest with you guys because WWE and Vince has given me no reason to give a fuck about it. But that was some good shit. That was a good middle of the event type of match. Vince took a gamble. I don't know why. Maybe it was somebody else who called that shot, but they did not put that in the pre-show, and I felt it was beautifully placed, and the match went on fucking just beautifully, man. There's no way that's not going right into the good column. So now, after 4 fucking matches, we have 2 good, 1 bad, and 1 fucking ugly. And I will tell you this, man. Mustafa Ali was taking some nasty fucking dome piece shots, man. Or was it, no, Buddy Murphy. I think Ali was putting Buddy Murphy's dome piece into that canvas one too many times. I, like, fucking cringed a few times. Like, damn, is this motherfucker gonna get up? So, very good chemistry, man. I thought there was a chance Cedric Alexander was gonna come out, do the turn on his good old buddy, Buddy Murphy. See what I did there? Turn on his buddy, Murphy? Alright, but anyway, man, I got jokes. But, yeah, I really like that. And I know you guys are probably like, oh, what's he going to say about that Cruiserweight match? It wasn't on the pre-show. BC's not really big on 205 Live. No, nothing bad to say. It was good. So 2 good, 1 bad, 1 ugly. But, guys, this ugly is a sore spot. Because, again, that counts for 2 bads when this is all said and done. Please excuse me. I have to go fucking snap this motherfucker's neck, because that is starting to distract me. You want to blow leaves, motherfucker? I'll give you something to blow. Alright guys, so, change of plans. On the way down, I saw my probation officer. He said, no, you can't snap any more necks, BC. So, that's where we're fucking at. We gotta put up with this fucking dumb schmuck. He's got about 6 other fucking idiots out there. They're all watching him. They're like, wow, that's how you blow those leaves, huh? So, it is what it is, man. If we gotta put up with Nia Jax, we can put up with fucking blowers of leaves. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna try not to concentrate on the bullshit, and we're gonna continue on with match number 5. Where were we, by the way? 2 good, 1 bad, and 1 ugly after 4 matches, guys. So in match number 5, we're going into the men's elimination match. SmackDown men versus the Raw guys. Right off the gate, this should go into the ugly because Samoa Joe is the first one eliminated in about 0.2 seconds, just like Naomi was. And I got schmucks trying to tell me, but BC, Samoa Joe's a little injured. He's medically cleared, is he not? He walked down that ring, the doctor said you can go, so he can go at Survivor Series. If you think Joe can't give you at least 60-70% if he's medically cleared, then you got another thing coming and you don't know Samoa Joe. Joe could have done it. You could have done this a million other ways that made Joe still look like a compatible beast. Instead, you make him look like a joke and a clown. I don't care if he's going out there with 1 fucking leg. You have him last more than 7 seconds. So that should go in the ugly. I'm gonna be fucking generous here, and I'm gonna move on because Shane McMahon's performance far outweighed the negativity with Samoa Joe. Shane McMahon went out there. He gives it more than 90+% of the actual roster. The young boys and gals that are coming up in the business don't take as many risks as a guy who's a millionaire that doesn't need to take the risks like Shane McMahon. This guy is flying from the top of the fucking ropes onto the outside through a table, through another son of a bitch. He is going coast to coast from one pillar to post. This motherfucker is literally putting his life on the line time after time, and you got a lot of guys and gals in this business that refuse to even take 1 chance, 1 iota of a risk. I love Shane McMahon, and for that reason alone, this match does not go into the fucking ugly. The match itself was actually decent, alright? Once I got past the Samoa Joe bullshit, you see what Shane McMahon's doing in there. You got the friction between Braun and Drew McIntyre. Rey Mysterio is in this match with Jeff Hardy, so you know you're gonna have some fun shit too. So, it was actually decent. I'm surprised we didn't see any Randy Orton helping out Team Smackdown. We didn't get any mention of AJ Styles, really, or him showing up. Nothing really outside the norm. Why this? So it doesn't go in the ugly, but it doesn't quite go into the good yet because we have to find out what the finish is. Guys, the finish was setting up to be something cool. Randy Orton, AJ Styles coming out to avenge Shane McMahon maybe, because it ended up being McMahon beaten the shit out of. He was fucked up beyond recognition, FUBAR, and he's staring across 3 survivors for Raw. Lashley, Braun Strowman, and who the fuck was the third? Was it Dolph? I fucking forget. But I think it was Dolph Ziggler. I don't think it was Drew. Maybe it was Drew, actually. Why would they eliminate Joe? Who the fuck cares? There's 3 son of a bitches, and maybe it was fucking Drew. Maybe that makes more sense. But Shane McMahon, there's no way he could beat them, so you're thinking, okay, I don't care if this is fair or not. Styles, Orton, maybe somebody else, they come in to help Shane. No! Shane just goes, bring it, which was beautiful storytelling. Again, Shane McMahon saved this match for me, not going into the fucking ugly. It was a decent match, but it's a Samoa Joe bullshit. The ending was absolute trash. This had Shane McMahon just getting scooped up and power slammed. 1, 2, 3. Braun Strowman wins. There's 3 Raw survivors. Lashley, Strowman, and again, either Drew or Dolph. Doesn't really fucking make a difference. They're one and the same. They're like 2 motherfuckers. They're 2 peas in a pod. 2 dumb schmucks in a potato sack to me. That's what Drew and Dolph is. And that was it. That was the most anticlimactic for what was otherwise a decent match. Shane McMahon going ballistic in this match and doing all this awesome shit. And the whole crowd was dead at the end. Nobody knew what to think. All of that, a half an hour plus, was for a 3-on-1 victory ending in a power slam. again, it can't go into the ugly because of it was a decent match and the performance Shane McMahon put on was out of this world. It can't go into the good, though, because all I would be doing is putting a good into a decent match. No, the ending was the deciding factor here, and that was just bad. No way, that's got to be a thicker bad. Yeah, there you go. That's a bad, guys. You cannot end that match. If you want SmackDown to lose that match, that's fine. I can live with that. And they're 0 for 3, not counting the pre-show. So far, SmackDown hasn't even picked up a victory. But I can live with that. That's fine. But how do you do it? You got to do it in a creative way that's fun and that saves face for SmackDown. They got humiliated. Shane McMahon just gets scooped, power slam, and the whole crowd doesn't even know. Like, that can't be the finish. I literally was like, that cannot be the finish. That was actually the finish. So after 5 matches, guys, we got 2 good, 2 bad, and 1 ugly. I can't say this enough. That ugly, it shines heavily because that counts for 2 bad when we finally tally this up later. That could be the deciding factor. We only have 2 matches left. They're going to have to be placed in the good column for this pay-per-view to have any fucking chance. Luckily for them, they put on 2 amazing matches coming up. The next match we're about to talk about is the Women's Champion for SmackDown taking on... No. Wow. Sorry, Becky Lynch. Man, that still sucks. Sorry, Becky. This is not the Women's Champion for SmackDown. This is her hand-picked talent going in there against the Raw Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey. And, of course, we're talking about Charlotte. So this is the dream match from WrestleMania that's getting fast-tracked. And this is Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. And damn, were we in for a fucking treat on this one, man. I wasn't sure if the chemistry would be there. There was moments, of course, where you had a little bit of sloppiness. Not fully on track, but can I just remind people, because there's people on social media trying to remind me like, oh no, it wasn't that great because there was a sloppiness here. I don't believe this. You guys, think about this. Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair had 4 fucking days notice. This was announced Tuesday. You can't do anything until the next day, obviously. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you fly out. Actually, they were flying out beforehand to LA. So 4 days, really, from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 4 days to get this match going. And don't forget, this is Ronda Rousey. Somebody who has been there for 8 months on this roster. Taking on Charlotte Flair, who's been doing this for years and is one of the best in the world. And Ronda Rousey has to hang with her. And I got schmucks on social media trying to tell me that Ronda was carried in that match. Ronda sucks and Charlotte carried the match. Well, guess what, dumb schmuck? I would hope so. She's the ring veteran between the two. She has to carry that. Ronda knew not a lick of wrestling, pro wrestling, before she got here. Got thrown right into the fire at WrestleMania and has been since trying to learn and has nailed it every time she went out there in just 8 months. And you have these are literally people that call themselves wrestling fans and they try to be smarks. They try to be smart marks. They try to be smart fans by trying to sound smart when they really just sound fucking stupid as fuck because they don't know what they're talking about. Ronda was carried in that match. What did you expect Ronda to be the general in there? 8 months versus Charlotte fucking Flair? Ronda got thrown to the wolves. 4 days notice against one of the best in the world. A match that Ronda was preparing for April of next year. And you got people trying to fucking come down hard on Ronda. Befuddles me. It's no longer surprising how stupid a lot of pro wrestling fans can be, but it's to the level of stupidity that they can reach. That boggles my mind sometimes. Because it keeps reaching new levels. It was sloppy a lot, BC, I feel. I feel like there was moments it wasn't as pristine. I would think so. I would think so after 4 days of notice. You go in there and have a pristine 20-minute match. Good luck. After 8 months of training, hardcore training anyway, getting thrown to the wolves anyway, on the main roster. Guys, stop the overanalyzing in this match. I'm gonna save you the trouble, because the amplified man is the deciding factor here. You tuned in because you do want my fucking word. I always get some schmuck sometimes. I'll go, who the fuck? Nobody cares what the fuck you got to say, buddy. You clicked on my video, you made it this far, you know exactly that you're the dumb motherfucker that needs to know what I have to say. It's not want. People tune in all the time and they want to hear my fucking words on a situation, on an event, on a match. But motherfuckers like that who are ragging on Ronda, you need to hear the amplified man. So you're the motherfucker that needs to hear what I'm saying. I'm going to be the deciding factor for you guys. This match blew the roof off of LA, of that Staples Center. Blew the roof off. This was off the fucking charts. You can take any sloppiness. You can take any botches. You can take any fucking, who carried who. I'm taking tallies of who's carrying who. I'm taking tallies of the mishaps. No, this was a kick-ass match where two ladies beat the fuck out of each other. Bruised, cut, bloodied, you name it. They beat the fuck out of each other. They rolled around a lot, obviously. And that's going to create some sloppier moments because they're tap-out specialists. You got an armbar, you got a figure eight. Ronda can also capitalize on a leg fucking and grab your ankle or your fucking leg and snap that thing in half unless you tap out. She can do it all. But we know Charlotte can tap you out as well. So they're rolling around a lot. Then you had Smash Mouth. You had a lot of good shit here. With Becky and Ronda, you knew you were just going to get the Smash Mouth. And then at the end, you were going to get some of the counters on their submissions. But with Charlotte and Ronda, we didn't know. We got a mixture of the two, and it was fun. That match could have went on another 10, 15 minutes. I don't give a fuck. And the ending was fucking brilliant. With Charlotte Flair snapping. She didn't know if she really had enough in the tank to actually beat Ronda. She was injured from the multiple attempts of the arm bar, so she was telling the story beautiful. There was one moment where she did something to Ronda, and she stayed in the corner. She couldn't even capitalize, holding her arm, and she was in tears. I love the selling. And you'll have some dumb schmuck on social media. They were overselling, BC. Fuck you. That was beautiful selling. Crying in the corner for a minute, holding her arm. The fuck do I have to do? I don't even know if I can beat this woman. So she snaps, and she puts her chair into Ronda, and she at first I think it was a kendo stick, beats the fuck out of her. Ronda had bruises instantly. Then she starts beating the shit out of her with a chair. Referee's finally getting her way, get her out of the ring. So she leaves the chair in the ring. She comes back in. She natural selections Ronda's face into the fucking steel chair. All the while, Ronda's already got a busted mouth from an elbow shot right into Ronda. BC, you're hard on Nia, but not on Charlotte. Yeah, because Charlotte has a list of people she injured. One of the best wrestlers in the world. Okay. A lot different when you're in war and you give an inadvertent elbow to your opponent than when you're doing a fucking go-home melee on a go-home show to the pay-per-view. And you're just throwing fucking bows at somebody you don't even have legit beef with. Big difference between the two. So I love this fucking war. I love the way this ended with Charlotte snapping. And Ronda Rousey just getting the shit kicked out of her. And she gets up when it's all said and done and she looks at the crowd who's booing the fuck out of her. LA could not stand Ronda. Thank you, Charlotte, and all this shit. Anybody who turns heel is like the fans like to gravitate to, this is cool. They're cool now. It's like, come on, man. Like you don't like Ronda. That's fine. But at least give her the round of applause when she stands up because she held her own. They both told a beautiful story, and it was cool. Round of applause, and then hammer the bitch if you want to. I love Ronda Rousey. You guys know that. I love her performance last night with Charlotte. And I love when she stood up, even though they were booing the fuck out of her and chanting for Charlotte. Thank you, Charlotte. Ronda's like, I'm sorry. And she walks off. I know, they were probably planning on more sympathy for Ronda, so it would have worked better with the I'm sorry. But she got no sympathy last night. But she still delivered the I'm sorry, you know? Like, hey, I wish I could have done better for you guys. I'm sorry that this had to happen. I wanted this to end fairly. I wanted to be the one the decisive winner, not by disqualification, which is the victory I did get. That was the message she wanted to portray. I loved it. And, fuck, man, there's so many awesome things from this. And again, this sets up the rematch, which Vince is probably going to do at WrestleMania. How the fuck do you put this at TLC or Royal Rumble? This has because it's SmackDown versus Raw. So it looks like something tells me this is going to WrestleMania, and this is what I mean. Don't claim that Becky is going to take on Ronda at Mania yet. It's not time. Vince doesn't know what the fuck he's going to do. He loves Charlotte Flair. He loves Ronda. Those are his golden childs, and he could put them right back at Mania, and that's what it looks like it's doing. And he could put Nia with Becky. And don't be surprised if Nia and Becky is at Mania and Nia beats Becky. Be careful what you wish for. I told you from the beginning. This was not a blessing in disguise. Becky and Ronda should have been the match, but this substitute match was badass. I fucking loved it, and there is no way this is not going into the good column. And that's only because I don't have a great column. Boom! After 6 matches, we have 3 good, 2 bad, and 1 ugly, guys. So, because the ugly counts as 2 bads, so far the final tally is 4-3. In order for this pay-per-view to pull out even and even, and then we gotta go to the pre-show, they have to get another good. Is that even possible with Brock versus Daniel Bryan? I mean, you think Brock's just going to destroy Daniel Bryan? That's it? How can I really put that into the good column? Let's talk about it. Because what ended up happening is this main event, Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan. First of all, follow that. Follow Ronda and Charlotte. Good luck. But they did it, and they did it in a methodical, psychological way. The first fucking 5 to 10 minutes of this match was Brock literally destroying, and at some points I honestly thought killing Daniel Bryan. From the very first Suplex City bitch, Bryan landed right on his head, and I'm like, that's it. Stretcher, he's done. Concussion. That's literally what I was thinking. I cringed, I thought, oh, it's over, and I mean, it's over, like his career for WWE, and then Brock continued to throw him every which way around the ring, outside the ring. It was brutal. And this is what I meant. This was like, everything I heard was true. Vince McMahon is literally punishing Daniel Bryan for not going to Crown Jewel. But BC, they put a title on him. Okay, Vince could care less about that title if it means beating the fuck out of Daniel Bryan and teaching him a lesson. So, for the first 10 minutes of this match, I was like, wow, this is Vince teaching Daniel Bryan a lesson. He put him in there with Brock, knowing that he was going to have Brock beat the fuck out of him for 10 minutes. Bryan is sore as fuck this morning, I promise you guys. If you've never taken a bump inside of a ring, you have no idea. I have, and it hurts. It's tough as fuck to deal with the next day when you've never done it. The very first day of taking bumps, hitting ropes, you feel that shit. Daniel Bryan's been taking the bumps again since he's returned, but not like that. That motherfucker got annihilated. But it didn't end. There was an F5, Brock rolls up, or doesn't even roll up, kind of just covers up Daniel Bryan nonchalantly, but at the count of 3, he picks up Daniel Bryan's head. And I'm like, wait, maybe something's happening here. And after another minute, Daniel Bryan gets a couple of lucky kicks in on Brock. Actually is able to get Brock down on his knees at one point. And Daniel Bryan is able to capitalize when Brock Lesnar does another F5, but Daniel Bryan's feet take out the referee for a minute. Once the referee goes down, Daniel Bryan uppercuts Brock Lesnar. Crowd erupts, because now we know we're back on equal footing here. And then Daniel Bryan goes into his fucking crazed look that only Daniel Bryan could pull out, him and Mick Foley, that look in their fucking eyes, where you know the lights are on, but nobody's home. You're really hoping that he's not concussed. This morning, I'm still waiting for a story to come out like Daniel Bryan has another... I really am, unfortunately, guys. Because that look, that was the look he had when he turned on the Wyatt family. And if you guys remember, he had a concussion during that match, and he finished it. So I'm hoping that's not true, but he had this look in his eyes, man. And he starts capitalizing, and he starts getting Brock into a fucking submission lock to where I honestly thought Brock might tap. Guys, I cannot lie to you. There was a moment where I thought this could be a tap out. This could be one of the biggest moments in pro wrestling history. Not just Brock Lesnar or Daniel Bryan's career, but in pro wrestling, seeing Brock tap out in a WWE ring in that type of atmosphere. But no, Brock was able to capitalize when it was all said and done. F5, Daniel Bryan gets pinned 1, 2, 3. I love how they didn't overdo it at the ending. The middle was a little too animated as it was. Daniel Bryan's annihilated. Then he gets some lucky kicks in, a low blow, and all of a sudden we're on equal playing field. That's to the limit when it comes to believability. That's as far as I'm willing to go. But if Daniel Bryan, if it takes Brock Lesnar 4 F5s to beat Daniel Bryan, even 3, 2 in a row, then that's a little bit not believable, right? It took 4 or 5 for Braun. That's enough. So for Daniel Bryan, 1 F5 should be it. It's Brock we're talking about, and that's all they did. They didn't over-animate or overdo the ending to this match. I loved it. Brock picks up the 1, 2, 3. That's obviously what should have happened. Daniel Bryan shows what and who he is, a man of heart and passion, which is all we wanted to see, and this match went beyond living up to its expectations. I assure you. This goes into the good column, guys. 4 goods. Thanks to the last 2 matches, Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey delivering, living up past the expectations, and Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar living past their expectations. And that's the fucking pay-per-view. We go off the air with Brock Lesnar walking up the rampway. Survivor Series goes off the air, and we are left with 4 good, 2 bad, and 1 ugly. And again, this ugly counts for 2 more bads, basically, guys. An ugly counts for 2, so if you X-nay that out, it's 4 bad versus 4 good. We have a tie. You guys know what we have to do on this tie, man. We're going back to the pre-show, because no Survivor Series or Big 4 event is going to go off the air in a tie. This isn't Crown Jewel. This isn't Super Showdown. We're going to have a decisive winner. So the pre-show, there was 1 match. This was a 20-person schmaz match. 5 tag teams for Raw, 5 tag teams for SmackDown. The whole thing was silly and nonsensical. But they actually pulled this off where it wasn't a tragic train wreck. They all went in there and delivered their spots. And there was a moment, a 2-minute span, where everybody was doing some high arsenal spots. Even the fucking Revival, who claims no flips and dives, right? What do they say? Only fists and head, whatever the fuck their motto is. They were out there trying to be cruiserweights, which is funny, because little chubby Scott Dawson can barely get up to the second rope, but he was out there trying to be some cruiserweight shit. That was funny and hilarious. And, was it Dawson, right? Not Wilder. Was it Wilder? No, Wilder's the other one. Dawson. Yeah, the little short, pudgy, bull guy. Who the fuck? I'm gonna say Dawson. Sorry if it's the other fucking guy. The Revival is so fucking irrelevant to me because that's how they've been portrayed. And I told you from day one, the Revival will never get over on the main roster because of their style and their characters. There's too many casual fans and mainstream media fans. And when you put them all in arenas, they're not going to gravitate to them. They're not going to be captivated by a team like the Revival. I try to tell you guys that, and I always get the diehard fans going, they're good, BC. I know, but they're not going to get over ever. They need to be repackaged in a different way, split up, I don't fucking know. But it ain't going to work. They should be lucky they made it to the end. But in the end, the right team won. The fucking Usos. That's how it should have been. I would have been fine with the New Day and the Usos celebrating together. Double winners. But SmackDown, if you think about it, won at least 1 match. So it wasn't a total sweep. But for some reason, Vince is not counting that pre-show, and that's... I know even on these shows I don't count the pre-show, but why would you have them all go out there in their team gear, though, by the way? And that's another thing. Do they all have to be in their fucking respective brand shirts? This isn't Little League flag football. We know who the fuck belongs to what show. We don't need that shit. But why have them all go out there and go to war with each other if it doesn't even matter? But they all went out there and they all gave it their fucking best. I really do feel. For something of a sham match like that, for such a clusterfuck of a match, they actually pulled it off in a rather entertaining way. For that reason, guys, I'm giving that a fucking good. And that's a fucking tally right through. That's a 5 tally now. 5-4. Survivor Series ends up just squeaking out to be a good pay-per-view event. Squeaking out, man. Regardless of what the board says, I'm going to give you guys my honest feeling on this event right when it went off the air. Before I even had a chance to go over it with you guys or even fathom or let it all process in my dome piece. When it first went off the air, my first feeling was I was entertained. So that's how I kind of knew this wasn't going to be an ugly pay-per-view all the way around. I felt it wasn't going to be bad, but I was interested to see if it was actually going to tally into the good. And it did. It just squeaked by. But it needed the help of the pre-show. And this is what I mean. WWE, especially for their big pay-per-views, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, they have to figure out a way to make their whole pay-per-view a whole good show. Not have these mishaps and dumb schmuck, nonsensical, redundant moments and confusing as fuck moments and all this shit. We don't need it on the big pay-per-views. You can put together a dynamite show from top to bottom, start to finish, if you try. We shouldn't have to squeak out a good pay-per-view. But I will be honest, when this pay-per-view went off the air last night, I was entertained. That was a fun 3.5 hours. For me. And it ends up being, when it was all said and done, 5 good and 4 bad. Because that ugly counted as 2 bad. So it was 5-4 in favor of the good. But I was entertained, man. And that captivated me, and I could have won another hour or 2 hours of wrestling last night. I was having a good time watching these performers go out there and kick ass. And the WWE Network got me too, man. I had a lot of shit to do after Survivor Series, but they hooked me in with the AJ Styles 365. If you have not seen that documentary, it aired after Survivor Series. Go check it out, guys. WWE is not paying me. I promise you, I'm not on WWE's payroll to tell you this. You gotta go watch that. Dynamite. And then I went into a table for 3 with the fucking Big Show, Kevin Nash, and DDP. Fucking WWE Network. I didn't get to bed till like 3 a.m. Woke up early to do this with you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about it, man. Did you like it? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was bad? Did you think it was fucking ugly? Discuss it down below. Don't fight with each other, because you and your comment will get the fucking boot. No negativity on this channel when it comes to my amp unit. And I'll see you guys for tomorrow's Monday Night Raw review and reaction show right here on this channel. We're going to see what the post-Survivor Series show sets up for TLC, which is coming fast and ferocious in just 4 weeks. Amplified, man. Thank you for joining me and having some fun on this Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Survivor Series is done. The final major pay-per-view of 2018 is done. Now we go on to TLC, and we end the fucking year. I'll see you guys tomorrow. For now, check you later.